drip this. Tell them run it on. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might but first die. Tell them run it on. 9 out of 10 roll through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm Nick McGrady. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours, send the invoice and they pay me. I need 6 rings like MJ and Tom Brady. I wake up, thumb down now, no drip this. Tell them run it on, no sleep, no rest. Might crash, might, but first die.
Good morning, guys and girls, and welcome back to the channel. So, unfortunately, the ECU that I have out of the 2005 Suburban for the LS swap for the Cherokee will not work. The Suburban is a drive-by-wire throttle body, and I don't want a drive-by-wire throttle body in the Cherokee. We're going with a drive-by cable setup. Well, I can only use a ECU ending with the last 3 digits in the serial number as 106 from a 2003 to a 2004 Silverado or Suburban. Harry's You Pull It up in Hazleton has 2 03 Suburbans and 2 04 Silverado trucks. We're going up there today. It's an hour-and-a-half drive to go check it out, and hopefully we'll find one so I can get this wiring harness sent out to ls1performance.com in Ontario. Be sure to check them out. Very awesome guys. He's been dealing with me personally on the phone a lot, talking me through a lot of things that I need to know about this swap, and he helped me out a lot electrical side. Definitely took the nerve off it touching the electrical in the Jeep. If it wasn't for him being so thorough about how basic and simple this 3-wire setup is, I would have been nervous to start cutting into the factory wiring harness. But I really got nothing to lose. I mean, if I screw something up in the factory harness, guess what? We just go to the junkyard and get another one and start over. But I did accidentally cut the high beam signal wire and the left and right turn signal wires out of the cluster pigtail before even thinking about that I was going to need them, because I need the wire to, I got my own little cool LEDs, can't wait to check them out when they get here in the mail for turn signals and the high beam indicator. So we got to go back and put those wires back where we need it. The pups know someone's here. So I'm going to go to the junkyard and be sure to catch up with you guys here in a few minutes. Bam. What's up? What's up? Not sure if any of that gibberish I just said a little bit ago made any sense. I was just waking up. I eat some jerky. Yeah, Rebel. So the problem is the donor vehicle for the LS engine, the 5.3 liter V8, was a 2005 Suburban, and it's got drive-by-wire throttle body, which means there's a sensor for the gas pedal, and it's electronic. The sensor on the throttle body is electronic, and I don't want that in the Jeep. I want a cable throttle body, but unfortunately you can't use the ECU. So I gotta go to the junkyard and gotta hunt down an ECU ending in 106 so I can get the ECU sent out with the harness to my buddy in Ontario at ls1performance.com, and we can get this Jeep fired up and running. Beef jerky for breakfast too. Breakfast of champions right here. This is the junkyard breakfast. We are looking for 106. We're not having any luck yet. Nope. Still looking. All right, guys. I just want to show you how awesome this company is. This is Mike on his personal time at ls1performance.com. He makes and custom tunes ECUs and makes harnesses for all your LS swap needs. It's a Sunday at 2:54 in the evening, and he is texting me in Ontario, so it's like 11:54 there in the morning, and he is helping me confirm what ECU I need for my swap. So just keep that in mind, guys. Small companies like him are the best companies to work with. We finally found the ECU that I need out of this 2002 Trailblazer with a 5.3. If you look, the last 3 digits of the serve number is 106. That's what we came here to find, and I'm so happy that we found this, because this wasn't even in a Silverado, which is what we were looking for, was a Silverado 2003. It's kind of surprising that this ECU is in here. It's a late model Trailblazer. Technically this is a 2003 because it was produced and manufactured 11/2. So it being at the end of the year, this is technically a 2003 body style. I am really happy that we found this. The fact that we found this, we can now get the ECU and the wiring harness sent out to Ontario, and we can get this swap underway. Before we get all excited and leave. And it's like 25 degrees right now, guys. Everything is frozen. Booyah, baby. This is what we came for. A victory of the day. So we don't need this ECU, but I told Mike that I would send it with the harness, and he can keep it and do whatever he wants with it, since he was spending his time on the phone with me. Plus these things sell for like 60 to 80 bucks for a factory ECU. And there's the good one that we just spent all day at the junkyard looking for. What are you guys doing? So yeah, guys, we are gonna get this packaged up, and we're gonna get this shipped to ls1performance.com in Ontario, California. They do an amazing job. You really cannot get a better deal than what they are providing. It's only $300, free shipping. They do everything. It's a simple 3-wire hookup, and you're ready to run. You get your fuse box and your relay box. It's super small, easy to hide. All brand new wiring looms. They remove the automatic wiring if you are going to a standard transmission. Every connection on their products are heat shrunk and soldered. Like, you cannot beat it. For $300, ls1performance.com. Check them out. Free shipping, everything. It comes with a 3 feet of wiring for a cell light. It comes with a new OBD2 port. Complete full service shop in Ontario, California. When you get it back in the mail, it'll be ready to run right out the box. Like, you really cannot beat the product that you are getting from Mike and the guys over at ls1performance.com. Just go on their website, check them out. Like I said, he was working with me on his day off. It was a Sunday. I was at the junkyard, and, you know, he's taking time out of his personal time to text me and make sure that I get the right ECU for him to be able to flash. And that's another cool thing. In the package, you get a code-free tune and a problem-free installation. You can pick between single or dual electric fans. They delete the VATs. They change the VIN number to match the VIN number to your vehicle. They change the axle ratio. They change the tire size, the top miles per hour. They remove the AC. You decide if you're going to an automatic or a manual. It doesn't matter. They also change the temperature on and off settings for your fan. They set them at a certain degree that you pick. You really cannot go wrong with ls1performance.com. So get on over to their website, check them out. You send them your ECU, you send them your wiring harness, and they completely tear it apart, relume it, pretty it up real nice, and they ship it back to you. And they also have a very quick turnover rate from what I've heard. When this thing gets here in the mail, we are going to definitely be doing an upload and showing you guys the quality of the harness and the ECU when we get it back. So alrighty guys, well, we are back from the junkyard and the weather got so nice out. We are going to start ripping the dashboard out of this thing, and we're going to get the carpet out. We're going to start messing with some of the wiring, and we're going to get on the roll. This thing's going to be coming out, and we're going to be showing you how to do it. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna miss having my cluster factory like this. I really like the way my dashboard looks. I originally, if you see in there, I misted and oversprayed around the inside of the cluster there. I just like the way that it turned out. But you know, I'm gonna see if we can utilize this and keep the glass in there. See if we can take the backing out of the cluster when I'm ready to make my gauges and get all the mechanical gauges in here. All right, first you want to start by emptying out your glove box. I don't smoke, so I don't know whose they are. Alrighty, so first things first, so you're going to want to empty out your glove box, and you're going to want to empty out your center console. Hey, look, citations. Who would have thought? More citations. More citations. That Jeep life. Anybody want some LED bulbs? Hey, part of my $900 broken watch that I ran over. Such a shame. I don't know what that key goes to. Hey, look, broken spider gear from a Dana 30. Anybody want that? Hey, more broken spider gears. More broken watch. Ooh, I remember that. That was a fun day. All right, you want yourself a can to store all of your screws in from when you disassemble your dashboard here. Alrighty, first things first is you got to remove this. They're just tabs that pop in like so. Alrighty, next thing, you're gonna have a screw here, a screw here, a screw here, a screw here. But first, this kick panel down here. You want to unscrew this. There's 3 screws down there. All right, so bam. Alrighty, now that just pops right out like this, and there's 2 clips on each side of this thing that hold that on. Pop, pop, and now you're gonna have this metal bracket. All right, you're gonna want to undo this screw, this screw, this really isn't that hard to do. A lot of dash removals can be intimidating. If you have a few under your belt, especially with Chrysler, like the Dodge Ram dashes, it's a very similar concept. All right, now, once this lower panel is out, that gives you access up underneath the headlight switch, which is what we need. There is a little button underneath this headlight switch. If you reach up in here and feel around, you'll feel it right there. Push that button, that releases the headlight switch, and you can pull it out. Once that headlight switch is out, there's a tab here, a tab there, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 screws that hold this bezel in. Once they're out, this bezel is free. Oops, that was my steering box falling. Alrighty, now to remove the cluster, there's going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4 screws. Want to remove them. All right, now all you gotta do is pull your cluster out. Bam, it just sits in there. It's recessed and the plugs just plug right in. That's why the they're flared out like this. So when you're setting the cluster back in, it'll find its own spot and recess in. I'm gonna miss this thing, man. Just take a look at this. This turned out real nice. Let's take a look at this real quick. I disassembled this and I spray painted the inner piece and I just misted it, so it gave it an overspray effect. And my cluster is LED red LEDs, and it really makes this glow red at night. The inside, it just makes it look brighter. But so we're not going to use that anymore. Once you get the cluster out and this bezel piece off, this top piece right here to the dash just unpops. All right, once you get that top piece off, there are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 10mm bolts. Well, 4 10mm bolts, 2 10mm nuts on studs that holds the top of the dash in. And then down here underneath by the gear selector, there's going to be 2 nuts right here that holds the bottom of the dash in, and then there's going to be bolts down here underneath the kick panels. They're going to hold the dash in as well. That's the bolt that holds the frame of the dash in that I'm talking about. All right. Next thing, we are going to want to remove the steering column cover right here. That's as simple as unscrewing these. unscrew those 3 Phillips head screws, and then the column comes off like so. Once again, throw that in the back. You want to disconnect all of these plugs from the steering column. We're going to remove the 2 1/2-inch nuts right here. And there's 2 of them down here too. All right, now steering column will just fall. Let me show you something. So your steering shaft that goes from your column into your gearbox right here, this shaft is just going to separate when we pull that out of the firewall. Ta-da! All right, next on the list, we're going to remove our radio, which is 2 10mm bolts right here. All right, another thing you want to do is you want to unbolt your OBD2 plug. The engine bay harness, the body harness, all bolts together right here. There's 2 10mm bolts right in there that you gotta take out. And guys, this is just to pull the dash. If you're doing a heater core, a lot of this is very similar. You don't have to pull as much of the dash out to do the heater core, but it's highly recommended. When I did my heater core, I removed the whole entire dash. I will show you the 5 extra nuts to take off to remove the heater core. We're not removing the heater core. We're gonna start pulling the dash here, guys. Undo all of the top 10mm bolts. All right, guys, so the HVAC controls right here's for the vacuum. You're gonna want to unplug this. Ta-da! All right, now, if you were to be doing a heater core exchange out and install, one, two, three, and four down there. You remove those 4 nuts off those studs, and your heater core will come undone. After you know, obviously you got to remove the upper and lower hoses, uncharge and vacuum out the AC compressor, and get all that disconnected, and then you undo those 4 bolts on the firewall. This box will just come right off the firewall. Today was definitely a good day. We were able to get to the junkyard and we were able to find the ECU that I need for this swap. That makes me happy. That takes a lot of stress off of that. Once Mike told me that my ECU was not compatible with converting to drive-by cable, I got a little worried for a minute, but we got that taken care of. No big deal. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you like to see the things that we are doing here, that is awesome. I can't wait to get this build done. I can't wait to get the camping trailer done and give you guys off-roading content as I'm traveling. That's like my main goal, is to be living on the road. Unfortunately, we got to work our way up to that. So we are going to get a lot of things done to this thing. We're going to get the long arms on. We're going to get the 4-link in the back on. We're going to get the unibody stiffeners welded in. Got to get our engine mounts bolted up and buzzed in real quick so we can get the LS in the engine bay, and we can see if we can even clear the truck intake manifold. I really want to run the Trailblazer SS manifold in a 90mm throttle body. I don't know if I can even do that until the engine is in the engine bay. So we're going to get the engine in the engine bay. I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this, but I decided that I'm going with a 700 R4 trans. I don't want to go with the 4L60E because I don't want electronics. I had a lot of issues. I crossed a lot of deep water because I have fun with this thing and I don't care about it. With the AW4, I had a lot of issues once it got wet. It'd constantly shift in and out of overdrive, and it would act funny the whole entire day. So we're gonna bite the bullet, and we're going with the 700 R4 trans. I know you guys are gonna be giving me a lot of shit for it, but it is what it is. First gear is a little steep in the 4L80E. I don't want to go with the 4L80. I don't want to go with the Turbo 400 because it's not an overdrive transmission, and I am not investing into a separate overdrive box. We are limited on our drivetrain length. Even putting a doubler in this thing might be stretching it a little too much with how far our drivetrain is before our drive shaft angle. We're not stretching the back of this thing all too much because I'm leaving the factory tank. So I'm limited with a lot of things I can do to keep this thing street friendly, to make it a streetable trail rig. So as of right now, that's what we're gonna do. So stay tuned for the next upload, guys.